Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we'll be watching 5 wild outbursts in the courtroom. Yo, I'm so scared to go to court. I do not have the guts to do stuff like this. And then, you know, they send you to jail. They can send you to jail. So I just don't know. But some of this stuff on here I might have seen, might have heard it before. Might be dark, might not, we don't know. I have seen the picture on there. I was like, I've heard about that one. And I think I've seen it, but I don't know what the story behind it was. So let's just get into it.
If you don't know how to act, you can go to jail.
I did kill Kenyatta Barron.
I heard of that one.
But I want you to tell it like it is if you gonna tell it.
From a defendant being dragged out of court, to an attorney flipping off opposing counsel, to a murderer scaring a judge, the courtroom can be a place for some wild, unexpected moments. We're going to break down some of these outrageous episodes with the man who knows the ins and outs of court, the founder of Law and Crime, Dan Abrams. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Clearly, if you follow us here at Sidebar, you know there is no shortage of outrageous courtroom moments. They happen all the time across this country. And that is what we're going to dive into right now. Some of the most wild courtroom incidents from recent years. Now, who better to break all this down with me than the man who's been following what has been happening inside of courtrooms for years? He is the chief legal correspondent for ABC News, host of On Patrol Live on Reels, Dan Abrams Live on News Nation, Court Cam, taking the stand, both on A&E, Sirius XM's The Dan Abrams Show, and the founder of Law and Crime. I think you can guess what I'm talking about. Dan Abrams joins us right now. Dan, good to see you.
Who fills in for me when I'm having to do two things at once.
I'm trying to be, you know, Dan Abrams 2.0, so it's good.
Yeah.
To start this off, in Detroit, Michigan, this is where 26-year-old Amanda Casal is about to be sentenced for killing Jerome Zerker while drunk driving. She pled guilty to operating a car under the influence. She's about to be sentenced. And by the way, just to give you a human component of this, Jerome left behind 5 children, a fiance, his family. It is such a sad case. And as Jerome's sister is speaking to Judge Kiana Lillard about her brother, this is during a victim impact statement, apparently Casal's mother, Donna, and some other unidentified man were smiling and laughing in the back of the courtroom, which is, as you can imagine, a big no-no with the judge. Watch.
You know, yeah, it's time for him to go. And I don't know who he is, but whoever can sit here at a tragic moment like this and laugh and smile when somebody has lost a family member. I mean, the entire time that Mr. Zerker's sister was speaking, that clown, and that's what I'm going to call him, a clown, was sitting there smiling and laughing. Yeah, you can go too, because if you don't know how to act, you can go to jail. So leave. Anybody that can sit there and laugh and smirk when somebody, take her, she's going in the back. She's going in the back. Anybody else want to go? You can go too. This is a court of law, and these are very serious matters, and I understand you all are upset because your loved one is going to prison, but guess what? She's going to prison for the choices that she made. Ma'am, you are being taken into custody for criminal contempt. Your disruptive and disrespectful behavior disrupted today's proceedings, and you, ma'am, are going to the Wayne County Jail for 93 days for direct criminal contempt. Anybody else want to go? Try it. Try it. Oh, my mouth?
Yo, I really don't understand how people could do that. It's so disrespectful. This girl was a drunk driver and she killed somebody. Why? How? What gives them the right to, like, not her family, to, like, do that? That's just so disrespectful, so nasty, and just disrespectful.
Your mouth got you 93 days.
So what happened? Well, Donna Casal, she was held in criminal contempt by the judge, and she was originally ordered to spend 93 days in jail, but the next morning, she offered a tearful apology to the judge, saying, "I deeply apologize for what I did. I was under a lot of stress." And Judge Lillard amended the sentence to just 1 day, credit for time served. She was released. As for Amanda Casal, she was sentenced to 3 to 15 years in prison. She was paroled in 2020. I talk about things I've never seen before, that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, and this is a story that we covered on Court Cam, on A&E. And, you know, it is, it doesn't happen that often that a judge will step in and literally hold people in contempt for misbehaving by smiling or laughing, etc. But here the next day she was very different, and that's what led the judge to have a little bit of a leniency here.
You talked about decorum. That leads me now to Tampa, Florida. We go to June 2021. So Ronnie O'Neal III is on trial for what is an absolutely horrific crime: beating and shooting to death his girlfriend, 33-year-old Kenyatta Barron, killing their 9-year-old special needs daughter to death with a hatchet. Her name was Renivia. And then he stabbed their 8-year-old son, Ronnie O'Neal IV, and set their home on fire. Now, miraculously, that young boy survived, and get this, one of the investigators in this case actually ended up adopting him. So now he goes to trial, and what happened? Well, he decided to act as his own attorney, standby counsel present. And we've seen that before, but what I tell you I haven't seen before is the way he presented to the jury.
Evan Shaw! That we are under some of the most vicious, lying, fabricating.
No, this is not church.
Fictitious.
This is not church.
By the time it's all said and done, you will see who is the mass murderer. In Tampa Bay, I did kill Kenyatta Barron. But I want you to tell it like it is if you're going to tell it. If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, I'm not.
All right, Mr. O'Neal, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate in a closing argument.
Almost feel
This is so stupid. Like, I would say that they should not allow people to do this, because I've heard about that one, and I do know his son testified, and he had to answer his questions, which I do not think should be a thing, because that is so traumatizing. Why would they even allow him to talk to him? That was so sick of that court system to ever do that. He got so many life sentences. That man's done. Everybody knew he was done. I think they did this just so he can make a fool of himself, because he looks so stupid, psychotic, crazy, dumbass man. That's what that was. So I just don't understand why they let the son testify, because I do remember that. That was just so sick, and it's so sad. But what was he thinking this was? All he was doing was buying time. That's all it was. Just buying time, trying to do something stupid, making it wasn't doing nothing. You're a killer, dude. Everybody knew you was going away. They were trying to see they probably wanted to see what he was going to say. This is not church. Don't treat it like church. I don't know what he thought this was, y'all. This was so stupid. I'm happy he got exactly what he deserved. They should have gave him death penalty. Did he get death? Actually, don't even remember that.
like he's doing an impression of an attorney, what he saw on TV.
Yeah, he watched way too many videos. He got his
Way
degree
too
at
many.
U of Tube University,
Yeah.
right? Watching too many videos, etc.
Yeah.
And is in essence making a mockery of the proceeding, and again, critical to think about the fact, the victims here, and this kind of performance can't make them feel any better.
And talking about the victims, so he seemed to allude to the fact that he attacked Kenyatta to defend the kids, that he was acting in self-defense. He also claimed that law enforcement fabricated evidence, that they manipulated recorded 911 phone calls to make it sound like he was beating his ex-girlfriend. He accused police of removing evidence as well. And then he had an opportunity, again, never saw this before, his own attorney, he cross-examined his own son, the one that he was accused of stabbing, the only surviving
Sick.
victim of what happened. This boy was 11 when this trial took place.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
Why would they do this?
He stabbed me.
Do you remember telling Detective Dirks? After he asked,
Can he
did your
breathe?
dad hurt you the night that he hurt your sister. And you said, no, he didn't hurt me. Do you remember that?
No.
That was something.
This one I remember when this happened. I was covering it at the time. Really hard to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Why would they allow him?
Dad who's cross-examining his son, who he stabbed,
That's crazy.
and trying to catch him in inconsistencies. Kid's now 11, right? 8 or 9 at the time. It's just the worst of the worst.
And he was trying to suggest that, well, you were adopted by police, so now they're telling you what to say, as if all the other evidence doesn't matter. And again, I've seen actually a defendant cross-examine somebody he's allegedly, hurt, like an ex-wife, but this, a young boy, I've never seen anything like it.
Right, his own son.
Yeah.
I mean, that I've never seen. I mean, I've seen a number of cases where when people represent themselves, right?
Yeah. Never a good idea.
Generally,
So they don't be knowing nothing.
Yeah,
They be acting like
generally
they know
terrible
stuff. They
idea.
don't.
Every once in a while, somehow, but generally it's a terrible idea.
And as you can imagine what happened here, the jury found Ronnie O'Neill III guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated child
Well,
abuse,
you was going
arson,
away.
resisting a law enforcement officer, and just 2 days later he was sentenced to 3 life sentences plus an additional 90 years. The judge calling this the worst case she had ever seen in her 19-year career. Well, now we're going to head over to Cincinnati, Ohio, where former judge Tracy Hunter, she was convicted back in 2014 of unlawful interest in a public contract. This was for her handing over confidential materials to her brother so that he could keep his job as a juvenile court employee. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail, but she hadn't served it yet. The imposition of the sentence was delayed for years because attorneys were raising a number of legal challenges. She still lost her job. Her license to practice law was suspended. But now, for what we're about to get into, we're in court in 2019 where her attorney is asking her sentence to continue to be delayed. And I want you to keep in mind that this courtroom is packed with her supporters. And by the way, Hunter's supporters had arguably sent intimidating letters to the judge, in this case, Judge Patrick Dinkelacker's home, asking that Hunter be exonerated. Now the judge, he ultimately imposes the 6-month sentence on Hunter, clearly not being deterred by Hunter's defenders. And that is when the courtroom erupts into chaos. Someone rushes towards Hunter, and then Hunter appears to go limp and emotionless as she's literally dragged out of the courtroom by a court officer.
Mr. and Ms. Deputies can take her away.
Girl, what were you gonna do? She didn't have no speed on her. Girl, you take them stockings out of her. Like an animal, tell her to walk.
Talk about
Okay, look. Yeah, black people getting on my nerves sometimes. I'm like, okay, yeah, you stick with her, whatever. You're her supporter. But she broke the law. That's what it is. What you want, what? They did everything right up in, like, with this crime, because it was a crime. The lady did illegal stuff. It's 6 months. I remember she didn't even serve 6 months. I think, did she get out like 2 months or a month? 30 days, one of those? Or I think it was like 3 months or something. I don't know. She didn't serve the full time. Girl, you ain't going away for life. But you know you lost your license. You can't be a judge anymore. They don't respect you. You're not worthy. But what was that girl gonna do? Going to jail now because you running up on people, on officers? Girl, what? The girl go limp. Yeah, she was smiling at first because she didn't think she was gonna get got, but she got, and it's like that's what happens when you break the law. I don't care, black people. What you want me to say? I wouldn't with that. I'm like, you broke the law for your brother to keep his job. Okay. What he do? I don't even know about that whole thing. But I'm like, what would them yelling gonna do? You sending threatening letters to the judge, and now I'm pretty sure, I don't know who it was, but he said he got a lot of them. I remember that. But then you hear somebody smile, you're dragging her out like an animal. Tell her to get up and walk. because that's her fault. All this was all her fault. So the fact that she has supporters for even like for what she did, well, I don't know what her brother did. Okay, I'm just going by what they said. You broke the law, and that's what happened. You didn't serve like 10 years. Didn't even serve a year, girl. But you know you did lose your job. So there's that.
Fact that I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, look, this goes back to the justice system has to treat people as equally as it can. It doesn't always treat people. Right? There's no such thing as complete parity in the law. But, you know, just because someone had a high-level position, just because she has defenders, doesn't mean that when sentence is imposed, she doesn't have to serve it. Right?
And you know, they were talking about she was the first Democratic
Because they be getting them white people too, them white judges, so don't be thinking it's just black people.
elected juvenile court judge. She was going to make change, but she was, you know, convicted of a crime here. And have you ever seen in a courtroom somebody, you know, when a sentence comes down or when a verdict comes down, they react in a certain way? I don't think I've ever seen them go limp and being dragged.
She was done.
The problem with answering the question, have I ever seen? Right?
Because you probably have.
Because with court cam, now.
Also, I think it's they probably be so scared too. You're going to jail to like where people you sent to jail. So I think that's kind of funny.
In its whatever 6th, 7th season,
yeah,
I've seen everything. I've seen just about everything, including this clip. And so, you know, it's unusual certainly to see it, but you know, I have seen on occasion people who don't want to cooperate with police, and they are dragged out. You know, it's just the fact that this is, you know, a former judge makes it a little bit different.
And they talked about certain mental health issues she had, and obviously maybe her body went limp, you know, hearing that. It was a wild scene.
Well, I think she was just doing it. I don't.
You think it was active?
Yeah. Well, I think she just was active resistance.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she was just refusing to cooperate and being pulled away.
Yeah, because people were yelling like you're dragging her like an animal, and no justice, no peace. That's interesting. She ended up only serving 3 months in jail as opposed to 6 months. She was released early, but. Now I'm going to go to somebody else. And this is somebody that we know very well. We cover this a lot. Because when I think about absolutely unforgettable, outrageous moments in court, can we talk about Alex Jones for a second? And honestly...
I'm happy we got to see this, y'all, because I don't know what he did. I think I know something about him talking about this. Was it the Sandy Hook's debts or something, that he was profiting off of that? I do know they say he owed like $1 billion in assets to the families. I don't know nothing about that, though. I just not heard about
one here because there were so many. Now this, of course, is when the InfoWars founder and host was sued by the families of those who lost loved ones in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, as well as a former FBI agent, for comments that he made regarding the massacre, namely that it was staged and fake and a hoax, and the parents were crisis actors, and just insane stuff to say. And they sued him under various legal theories, such as defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, Alex Jones, he actually lost these cases by default judgment. The court automatically ruled against him because he willfully failed to comply with discovery obligations during the course of this case. So the trials that we covered on Law and Crime and Sidebar, they were purely about how much would he owe the plaintiffs in damages? How much would he have to pay out? I don't know what the most outrageous moment was. Was it when his attorney, Andino Reynal, seemingly flipped off opposing counsel in court?
Will you talk to me? Andino, will you talk to me? Will you talk to me? Will you talk to me? We said in the hallway, we said to you,
inappropriate.
are all your videos on
this is a summary exhibit, and we're agreeing to all this.
Hey guys, maybe now's not the time. Maybe we can cool off and I'm gonna have a phone call.
Neither the
I'm
judge.
sorry, I was over here looking at those horrible photos of the people on the wall. Were those drawings or paintings?
No, the jury were around to see that one. They were around for this, though.
That's Robbie Parker, isn't it, Mr. Jones? Yes. That's the real Robbie Parker, isn't it?
I mean, I said years ago I thought Sandy Hook had him. Just like all the Iraqis, but you liberals killed and love. You're unbelievable. You switch on emotions on and off when you want. It's just ambulance chasing.
Why don't you show a little respect? You have families in this courtroom here that lost children, sisters, wives,
Those are real
moms.
things.
Is this a struggle session? Are we in China? I've already said I'm sorry hundreds of times, and I'm done saying I'm sorry. But I legitimately thought it might have been staged, and I stand by that, and I don't apologize for it.
And don't apologize, Mr. Jones. Please don't apologize.
No, I've already apologized to the parents over and over again. I don't apologize to you. Don't apologize to you.
And one more, this is my personal favorite, Jones being questioned by the judge in Texas about chewing gum.
Spit your gum out, Mr. Jones.
It's not gum.
What is it? Because you're not allowed food or gum of any kind in the courtroom.
I had my tooth pulled a week and a half ago, and I had some gauze in there earlier, and it's been causing me to have some pain.
So you're chewing on your gauze?
Would you like me to show you?
No, I just want you to answer my question.
No, I was massaging the hole in my mouth with my tongue. I'll show you right here. Okay?
I don't want to see the inside of your mouth.
Oh, no, there's no gum.
Dan, take your pick.
Well, you know,
and I think he did that because he thinking he was going to win this whole thing. He owed a lot of money. It's like billions. $1 billion. I do know that. Why would you? So that's what he did. He thought this stuff. He was kept on saying this stuff was staged on his podcast or something. Because I know they say he's like one of the most hated people. I know he speak his mind or whatever. But that was a real thing that actually happened. What he want to look at the bodies to see that the fact that he even said that was so crazy. And, be thinking just because you got supporters that they'll be all behind you. If they are, those are idiots too. I don't care what you say. That was a real thing. And the fact that he even did all that. And, it should have served jail time for that.
I remember when I was covering the O.J. Simpson case, there was a rule in the courtroom of no gum. Absolutely no gum. But you were allowed to bring in sucking candy. Mm-hmm. And before I went into court one day, someone gave me a chiclet, which is, these things that are started as a candy and become gum. And I didn't know. At least this is what I told the judge when I got caught on camera chewing a piece of gum in court. And the camera, he had his own, Judge Ito had his own camera where he would look at the audience. And he brings me into his chambers and shows a picture of me sitting there going like this. And, it was serious stuff then. And my defense was that when I got it, it was a candy. Right, and it was legit. Yeah. And Alex Jones did a version of that in his defense. Look, this was an insane case.
Insane moments in a courtroom, as we did in the next one I'm about to talk about. And this is a very tragic case. Let me be clear about this. I'm talking about the trial of Darrell Brooks Jr. This was the guy who drove a red SUV through the Waukesha, Wisconsin holiday parade, killing 6 people, injuring several others. This is back in November of 2021. He goes on trial in 2022, represents himself. He identifies, by the way, as a sovereign citizen. This is a movement of people who seem to believe that the law and the courts don't have authority.
His head too big for his body. And he's like a bobblehead. How is it that these people really do kill people and they act so brand new and they look so surprised when they got a sentence handed to them? Like, what did you think representing yourself was going to do? Everybody knew you was going to jail, idiot. Like, they just wanted to see what you was going to say. Like, his head is really too big for his body, though. Seriously.
Ended up taking out his anger out on the judge and the prosecutors.
I'm a grown man with grown kids. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Nobody. I don't have a problem with doing what you ask me to do, not tell me.
You can see that he is seated with his back to the court,
why even waste time on this
dude? He took
dude?
his shirt off as well. I'm also told that he is threatening to throw and break items.
I would like to provide the defendant and the court with a copy.
So that had to be said.
I would have just followed up and threw at him.
The OWI second from 1997.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful.
Weird. Why waste the time on people like this? Get him out of here.
Talk about making a mockery of the court system.
And this judge had enormous patience for this guy, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, covering this story too and thinking, why is the judge still allowing him to engage in this? So this judge was, very willing to let him have his say as much as possible to protect the record, etc., and he abused it.
Freaking sovereign citizen, is that what it's called? But everybody has the right to speak their mind, but these people who kill people don't. Like, y'all are going away. The fact that he was having a stare down with her, he looked like a midget. Like, dude, you killed 8 people. You're like, how do people not see? Like, definitely kind of slow. Or mental, at least, I don't know. Or maybe he's just an idiot. I call all these people idiots, y'all. That's just me. Don't take it that way. I call them all idiots. They are psychopaths, just psychos. Because the fact that he can even go say, I'm a grown man, dude, you're just a number now. You're in prison. Your identity has been stripped. You're gone. Scum. Gone away. They should have gave him death too. Did he get death? I swear I don't even know if these people get death, but they deserve it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. What are your thoughts on these cases? These suspects are such idiots and just psychos that think that, I don't understand why would they represent themselves. They really set them up for failure, and it's kind of funny. It's definitely amusing, but I do not respect that court for letting him, that dude, interrogate his son. That's so traumatizing. I'm not with that. And on that note, I will let you guys go, and I will see you guys on the next video. More crime to come because it's just nonstop, y'all. Be safe out there. Bye.